Yo, 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 what is going on? It is the Crazy Rider right here, right now, back with chapter 12 of my Invader Zim fan fiction. That's right, I have returned from my short break. Hopefully we don't have too many of these little gaps between videos, but you never know what's gonna happen. I hope you're all ready to get back into this story because I know I am. So, we'll get started, and you just sit back, relax, and enjoy it all. Right here, right now. Chapter 12 Family Night. The injury to my leg has slowed me down some. I can't run at all or stand on two legs for more than a few seconds. It absolutely kills me that I can't run because I live to run on all fours. Professor Membrane is working on some sort of cure thingy that will heal my leg completely. Other than that, things have pretty much gone back to normal between Zim, Dib, and me. I'm back to alternating between their houses and everything. Zim has decided to hold off on any world domination plans until I'm back on my feet. I guess he kind of feels responsible for me getting hurt. What a sweet little Urkin. I was sitting in Dib's house. Gaz was trying to draw a pig on the floor while I was on the couch trying to stay active from the waist up. By staying active, I mean I was repeatedly throwing a ball in the air and catching it. Dib was all geared up and was talking to Gaz and me. This is it, you guys. Months of spying on Zim's freakish little household is about to pay off. I know every outer defense and just enough of the inner ones to actually make it down to the real base underneath. And once I get in there, Man, am I gonna do something. Gaz stabbed her writing utensil into the ground and dragged it across the floor with anger. I stopped playing with the ball and looked over at the frustrated Gaz. I'm trying to draw a little piggy. Can't you see I'm trying to draw a little piggy? Be quiet. Even I had to admit Gaz was a little scary sometimes. I knew better than Dib to never get in her way at the wrong time. Or any time. Dib was a bit too serious about Zim right now to care about Gaz's fury. Don't you care that Zim is trying to destroy all mankind, huh? I know Liz may not care, but you at least have to, Gaz. Forget it, Dib. You never will beat Zim, I told him. He way too advanced for you. Yeah, you've been no help during this whole invasion, Dib commented. If I had you 100% on my side instead of mostly on his side, that stupid little alien would be all over Mysterious Mysteries by now. That's how vital you are to this, Liz. So please, for the love of all that is alive in this world, help me. I lifted up my injured leg. Hello, injury. Kind of immobile here. Which was all Zim's fault, Dib argued. Whatever, you don't get it. Zim went into the other room and Professor Membrane floated over to Gaz on screen. Gaz, it's the annual family night out and it's your turn to pick where we eat. The time for choosing is now. I knew right away that she'd pick Bloaties, and I was right. That sounds fine, Membrane responded to her answer. I'll be home at 8. The screen floated over to me. As always, Liz is welcome to join us. Thanks, Professor, but I not think my leg like me going out and using. That reminds me. Membrane extended his pointer finger the way he always does when he's going to make an announcement. There's one of those scooter things in the garage that will aid you in getting around. I should have you cured by tomorrow. Really? Thanks, Professor. The professor is closer to being a human father figure to me than my actual human foster father. I only use their house for sleeping in, and as a formality. Dib called back from the other room. I'll be home in time for Mysterious Mysteries. Dib re-entered the living room. You know Dad's taking us out tonight, Gaz explained. I picked Bloaties. This is bigger than pizza, Gaz, Dib responded. This is the fate of all mankind. He headed for the door, and Gaz had another thing to say. You and your mankind. Uh-huh. Yeah, whatever. Look, if I'm not home in time, call this number and tell them the Mothman is caught in the spider's web. They'll know what you mean. He handed Gaz a card, but like I said, I'll probably be back before the Mysteries theme song starts. Dib opened the door and started heading out. See you later, Dibs. I called after him. Try not die. Thanks, Liz, he said before closing the door. I slid off the couch and crawled to the garage to look for the scooter. After about 15 minutes of searching, I found the scooter under some old junk. The scooter was one of those with a cushion to put your knee on, and you push with your other foot. I took it outside to get the hang of it on the sidewalk. After 2 hours of practice, Professor Membrane pulled up at 8. "Ah, Liz," he addressed. "I see you found that scooter. How is it working out for you?" "It definitely helped, but I need to get used to being upright," I said up to the professor. "I'm glad to hear that, little feral girl. Let's go get the other two." I forgot Dib was trying and probably failing to infiltrate Sim's lair. We went inside to see Gaz still drawing on the floor with Mysterious Mysteries now on TV. "I'm home," announced Membrane. "Are you ready to go?" Gaz stood up from her drawing while chewing something. "Where's your brother?" "He's out," Gaz stated with boredom. "Let's go." No, Membrane shook his finger at Gaz. "It's family night. That means everyone. If he doesn't get back soon, we'll have to put it off till next year." "What about the rest of this year?" Gaz asked angrily. Well, Professor called one of his people and asked about his schedule, but there was nothing else open. "No good, honey. It has to be tonight, and I've got to finish up Liz's cure at 9:30. So if he's not home soon, we're going to have to cancel the whole thing." Membrane marched off to the other room, and Gaz started growling with shaking fists. Dib's voice suddenly came from Gaz's watch. "Gaz! Come in, Gaz! Emergency! There you are, Gaz! And Liz is there too! Perfect! Looks like you'll have to tape the show for me! I made it in!" Dib shouted with glee. "It's incredible! There are things down here I never even dreamed of! I'm gonna try and blow it up now." "No, you not!" I growled into Gaz's wrist. "Come home now, Dib," Gaz said impatiently. "Your weird obsessions are not going to mess today up for me. I just want to go out and eat with Dad. That's all. Stop playing with Sim and get back here." "You're breaking up. I can't hear you. There were explosions of some kind off screen. "Sim! You're never gonna get away with the— ah!" Something was shot into Dib and Gaz ripped the device off in anger. "You're coming with me to find my stupid brother," Gaz pointed at me. "It's your stupid cure that Dad has to try and find, and Zim is your stupid friend." "Not arguing with you." I put my hands up in surrender. "Let's do this." I wheeled out of the house with Gaz. I led her down to the little greenhouse and started howling. Gurr opened the door without his dog disguise. "I'm guarding the house," he said, holding up a stuffed monkey. Gaz and I rolled inside and Gurr closed the door. He sat back on the couch and watched the ad for Bloaties. Gaz was watching it too, and she was filled with determination. "Where's Dib?" she finally asked. Gurr jumped off the couch and brought out a series of weapons from his head. "None may pass! You are an intruder!" "Where Dib?" I repeated the question for Gaz. Gurr put away his weapons and pointed to one of the elevators. "You went down there." The two of them climbed and I rolled onto the platform that took us down below. Gurr then led us to a large tube that I recognized as one of Zim's transporters of doom. "You sure they took this one?" Gaz asked the robot. "Yes." "Wait." He shrugged. Gaz and I tried to get into the transporter, but my scooter wouldn't fit. Gaz groaned in annoyance. "I'll get him on my own. You just meet us at Bloaties." I nodded and backed away from the transporter. After Gaz was gone, I looked at Gurr, who looked up at me joyously. "Guess what?" he shouted. "What?" I asked him. "Guess what?" he shouted louder. "What?" "Guess what?" "Wait, let me guess." I thought for a second. "You have something to tell me." Gurr opened his mouth in amazement. "Yes! You guessed it!" Gurr started hugging my good leg and I giggled. "Well, you must tell me," I asked him and he released my leg. I forgot." I shook my head and rolled my eyes with a smile. On my scooter, I rolled the few miles all the way to Bloaties and waited outside. After about 5 minutes, I heard a crash towards the back of the restaurant. It could only be the part of the adventure I missed out on because of my stupid leg and scooter. Seconds later, Professor Membrane pulled up in his membrane mobile. I'm sorry, it just sounded like something Membrane would call his car. "Here you are, Liz," the professor said as he walked up to me. "Are the other two inside?" I nodded. "I think you find them there." We all found each other inside and sat at a booth. Dib was strapped on some sort of levitating table thing. Gaz sat next to her dad while I sat next to Dib. The professor was talking with one of his co-workers on the floating screen the whole time. "I had him," Dib stated. "I had him, Gaz. If you hadn't rescued me, I would have—" We heard a bell ring, signifying that someone had entered the restaurant. We both looked up to see Zim steaming and adjusting his wig. He looked around until he found our table. "There he is!" Dib cried. "Liz, unstrap me!" Zim hopped onto the table across the way from us and hissed. "Now, Dib, we finish this once and for— Ah!" An animatronic pig got all up in Zim's face and spooked him. Zim fell to the floor and stared up in fear. I could feel him, because when I first came to civilization, I was afraid of the mocking metal creatures as well. The monsters all surrounded Zim and sweat dripped from his face. I dropped from the booth and slid between Zim and the animatronics in front of him. I nudged him to his feet and pushed him towards the door with my head. "Go on, Zim," I told him. "They not leave alone unless you leave building. Now go." Zim screamed and ran out the door, and I climbed back into my seat. "There, see?" Gaz said to Dib. "You won. Eat your pizza." Dib struggled to get his arms out of the straps, but couldn't. "I can't." Gaz then threw a pizza in his face, and I broke the straps with my teeth. At the end of the night, Membrane told me to stop by the house early in the morning. I rolled to the house at 9 o'clock that morning, where he gave me a shot in the leg. Within 10 minutes, I was back to normal, and I ran on all fours from the Membrane house to the digging site I went to for career day, and then back to Zim's house. I had so much built-up energy to let out that day, and couldn't wait to get back on my feet. Sometimes it's nice being friends with the son of the smartest human in the world. And that is one more chapter finished and done with, but we are still a long way from being finished and done with Liz and her story. All you have to do to hear it is to keep coming back. All that being said, I will see you little darlings next time, and remember, keep your crazy.